Welcome to All About the Bay. I'm your host, Paula Joy. Every week we interview some exciting people. And today on the show with us is Mr. Kenny Dearman. He's a dog breeder and also a dog trainer. You know, I've owned a puppy before and I did not know what to do with it and I had to let it go. And if I had met someone like Kenny, guess what? I would have kept that puppy, right? So I'm going to learn a lot today and stay tuned. Okay, Kenny, you brought some lovely dogs here today. I think they're very photogenic. I see them. Oh, can you take my picture? Picture? Tell me about your friends here.
This is Pineapples. And
Pineapples?
This is Mackenzie.
Oh, okay.
Pineapples is 8 months or 10 months, and Mackenzie is a year old.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's pretty young then.
Yeah.
So in human age, what's that?
About 7, and I really don't know the times, the 7 by the 10.
So that's less than 7 then. So it's like a few months. Okay,
Yeah.
6 months and something.
Right,
Yeah, okay,
exactly.
6 years. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. So, Kenny, what made you want to do this kind of thing?
I kind of manifested it from when I was a kid. So like I pretty much like talked to my father about it at first, because we've had dogs my whole life. So like I've had like Rottweilers, Akitas, and I've had pit bulls. And you know, when my pit bull got hit when I was a kid, we ended up getting a smaller dog after that. And I always told my dad, when I get older and I get my own place, I want to breed, you know, American Pit Bull Terriers. And I did. I ended up starting to do that. And then I started seeing that the pit bulls weren't really, you know, too accepted anymore. And like they were pretty much like oversaturated, and everybody like pretty much had like this stigmatism towards them to make them out for like, you know, a bad breed. So I was like, okay, what's the next type of thing that I can get into? So I started doing more and more training, and I started going to classes, and I had 4 dogs at the time. I had 2 pit bulls and 2 American Bully females, and I left to go to LA to a course in LA for protection and obedience, and also dual purpose. So pretty much dual purpose dogs are dogs that can sniff out bombs and dogs that do patrol work for the police force. So
Yes.
I went through that course for a couple months. I came back, and I came home to 17 dogs.
17 dogs?
Yeah, because
Were they given to you? You bought them?
both
or?
my females got pregnant by my 2 males while I was gone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so-
That's interesting. Okay, so you said basically this was a childhood dream, or?
Yeah, pretty
Yes,
much.
and how long have you been doing it?
Now I've been doing it since 2015. So I got into a little trouble in 2015, and when I got out of jail, I talked to my friend, and he had a couple puppies, and I was like, you know, I'm not doing anything right now. I just got out of high school pretty early. I need something to do, teach me some responsibility. So I got Eddie, and Eddie was 4 weeks old when I got him. Yeah, Brindle American Pit Bull Terrier, and I wanted to breed him really bad. And then I lucked up, and this lady in my neighborhood, she had a pit bull too, and she couldn't keep it anymore, so she gave it to me, and I had a fresh litter off of them, and you know, that was cool. The first litter I got to, you know, birth puppies. I got to, you know, see them open their eyes for the first time, breathe. You know, it was like kind of like having my own children, you know, for a little bit in that sense. But I ended having to grow them up, you know, raise them correctly, deworm them, get them their own shots, and I had to learn all of this over time.
Yes.
Also to save me money, and so I can have more experience.
Okay, so you do two things, right? One is breeding and another one is training. Let's talk about the breeding first.
So Mackenzie was made within 6 years.
Made within 6 years?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
I bred Eddie down, and when I say that, Mackenzie's really small. So if I'd have brought Eddie today, his grandpa sits about right here to you.
Really?
To your arm, the middle of your arm. So Eddie is American Pit Bull Terrier. Darla is the female that he bred to accidentally. Darla was American Bully. With that mixture, I got Loca and Itty Bitty. When I got Loca and Itty Bitty, I did a separate breeding with the same stud. I had named Baby at the time, a tricolor American Bully. I bred both of them to Baby to see which one would have, a better outcome, who have more of a consistent breeding. The one that ended up matching up the best was Locust. I ended up keeping 2 puppies from Locust litter, Nala and Taz. Taz ended up passing, and I ended up keeping Nala, and Nala is Mackenzie's mom. And I bred Nala to Mamba, who was owned by West Coast Bully Unit, and now he's owned by Prolific Bullies in Los Angeles. And that's pretty much how I got Mackenzie, from breeding Mamba to to Nala, so that I could.
So what you actually doing is like what America is.
Pretty much.
Like the melting pot.
Pretty much.
Like you're mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all mixed up, so Yeah.
She's not mixed up. I'm not. I'm pure African, 100%.
Right.
But you mixed.
Yeah.
You do this like for the dogs. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So so people like mixed people, right? They
Pretty
just
much.
So do people like mixed dogs?
I mean, yeah. It just sometimes you can get some that come out with good health issues, and sometimes you can get some that come out with bad health issues. So like, with Mackenzie here, like I just point out on flaws that I see on him is his feet. So with this breeding that I'm going to be doing, she's suicide and 4 times Bape. He's 2 times Bape, 2 times Phenom. So with the Bape blood hitting each other like that, connecting, I'm going to create a better dog, and more, functional.
So it's more like genetic engineering.
It's genetic. It's genetic. It's really, you have to know genetics when you breed dogs. You can't just, I'm gonna get 2 dogs, I'm gonna slap them together, and I'm gonna make some money. Like, it doesn't work like that. Or let's say I have a female that's tall, and I want to breed him to the female. The ratio of the puppies that I'm gonna get that are gonna come out small, and the ones that are come out big are very slim. So with that, I'm gonna get half and half, or I might get 2.
So what happens if you breed them and you didn't get what you're looking for? What
Then
do you
I have to-
you have to kill some?
No.
Okay.
Just rehome them for a cheaper price. So you don't, because the thing about it is, like, with this game that I'm in and this business that I'm in, because everything is a game, but this right here is a real big pot, and it's like you said, it's a melting pot. It's oversaturated already. It's a lot of different breeders coming far and wide. It's some breeders that's past me that are, on top levels. I'm trying to get to that point, but it's like how it is right now. It's very oversaturated, so you have to have a product or a dog that is looking, extreme, but still in, what in the category of what people want and are trying to, buy and put into their camp. This is the way breeding has been. It's really not about what I'm making. If nobody buys it, you're stupid. If that's what you think, you can breed for yourself. But if you're trying to breed for real and get somewhere with this, you're gonna have to lower your pride and raise your standards so that you can bring in the customers that you want to bring in. That's something I had to learn over time. I was, frustrated for a while at first. I still get frustrated sometimes now, because I look outside and I look at my yard and I'm just like, I got dogs that I don't need and I have dogs that I do need, and it's just about placing the dogs out that you don't need, but then it's also about everyone else that's trying to get what you need, and they're not trying to give you what you actually want for what you have that you need to progress.
Okay, what's the most popular breed that you have right now?
Right now is the American Bully and French Bulldog.
Okay, American Bully and French Bulldog.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now let's talk about the training part. So people get dogs for various reasons, right? So sometimes maybe they're forced to get it. Okay?
Right.
Or some kid, you have kids and then kids, oh, I want to get a dog, get a puppy. Then you get a dog in your house, and then you have no clue, absolute no clue how to train this dog, how to treat this dog. Like I said, in my case, the first puppy that I got was pretty cute in Taiwan. And I took the puppy home. The puppy did not want to eat puppy food.
Right.
Ended up eating I eat Italian food mostly.
Right.
Because it's easy to cook, right?
Yeah.
So I'm eating the stuff. This kid wants to eat this. And then very dependent too.
Right.
Every time I eat, it's like a baby.
Right.
Like even more dependent than a human baby.
Right.
So I ended up having this dog only for 2 weeks because I could not stand it.
Right.
Even though I liked it a lot.
Right.
I had to give it away.
Right.
So a lot of people face this kind of issues. I mean, you come across this?
A lot of people are uneducated when they get a dog. It's a lot of different people. So you just new. It's like, you know, when you get a new car and you don't know how to shine your rims correctly. So you keep taking it to the detailer until you figure it out yourself. So it cuts you a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So pretty much with the dog, so it's different types of dogs to start off with. So what kind of dog did you have? He was like a little mixed mutt, or he's just a little puppy that you found running around? The dog you had?
I don't know. That was many years ago.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
so I say puppies, you can learn with your puppy if you have the time. If you don't have the time and the patience, then you won't really learn much from the dog. And you won't learn, you know, he won't learn anything from you. So, because when you have a puppy, he has to, you have to be his protector. You have to make sure he feels safe. You have to make sure he feels warm. Everything needs to be, you know, pretty much perfect so that he feels comfortable to be around different people. That's the only reason why they're comfortable with being around you, because they feel safe with me. You have to make the dog feel safe. So when you have a puppy, it's just about taking the time and the steps and to growing him up in the way you
So are
want
you
him to
saying
be.
that if they didn't feel comfortable, I mean, like little kids?
Pretty much.
Really? Okay, so what makes them feel comfortable with me?
I'm here for one.
Okay.
And they're just not, they're socialized to around people. So when you don't have a dog that's socialized around people, the dog may bark, the dog may bite, and the dog may tuck its tail in between its legs.
Yes.
And the dog may go into a corner and just ignore everyone that's around because it doesn't want to be bothered, because it hasn't had that interaction.
Okay, let's talk about the issues that people face. I mean, like I talk about, my issue was basically the dog will not eat dog food.
Right.
Okay, so what are the most common issues that people face when they have a dog?
Chewing in the wall. People face, what it is that people face, really, like I said, is miseducation. It's really just about being educated and taking the time, and also, you know, properly setting your dog up. And what I mean by that is setting your dog up to win, not to fail. Because when your dog fails, you feel like you failed, right? So, just say you have work. Let's say you're gonna be gone for 8 hours, okay? A dog can be in a crate for up to, the dog can be in a crate for up to 8 hours, okay? So let's say you're gonna be gone for 12 hours. If you have a friend, you know, or somebody that you trust that can come by, let them come by, let the dog out.
What's going on there?
When
What's going on?
Come here, fool.
What's going on?
Come here. When the dog is like pretty much,
They must be hungry, huh?
nah, they just want to move around. They probably
bored
want
a
to play
little
with
bit.
you.
Okay, I see.
But pretty much is what I'm saying. You have to structure the dog up properly. So let's say you're gone, you have your house is unattended, but your puppy's there. So you just let a friend, you know, have a key if you're gonna be gone for more than 12 hours, so you don't come home to the dog being covered in poop, because it will be. When it's small like that, they get mad, they roll around, they cry, they scream, they do all types of things. Now the other way to stop that from, you know, happening is not feeding the dog so much, and also getting the dog out before you go to work. So waking up earlier. You have to change your schedule around when you have a dog. You have to make it, you know, comforting and, you know, sense to both of you, so that you can, you know, go about your life the same way as you did. But you won't ever really go about life the same way you did when you have a dog, because now you have something else to take care of besides you. So now you have to, like I said, structure a plan.
Yes.
Get everything correct so that everything flows together, and once everything starts flowing together, it's going to come in as unity, and you won't have a problem with
Okay,
the
so
dog.
some of the issues that you face as a dog owner is, first of all, changing your schedule around the dog, and the other thing is basically the dog barking and not eating dog food, and 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 then chewing on walls and stuff like that.
Chewing on walls, you know, like I said, when you're not home, the dog is bored. Dogs are like people. Like right now, they're getting bored. You know, they want to do. They want me to touch them. They want me to do stuff with them. So when dogs get bored, you know, they
do things.
They do things that they aren't supposed to do. And when they don't eat, you know, sometimes it could be to a stomach, something going on in the stomach. Sometimes it could be to something that's going on with the food. They may not like the food, or, you know, they're just new. What I do with dogs, they never turn down meat.
Yes.
They never turn down ground beef or bones or anything like that, right? So that's what you give the dog if it's not eating.
Right.
So, feed it out your hand. You got, like I said, you make the dog feel comfortable.
Let's talk about your training in particular, okay? We'll talk about generalities.
Okay.
So your training, what do you provide, what kind of service do you provide your clients?
Obedience training, protection training, in-home service, pretty much anything that you need from me, I come. So how I do training, I'm not like most trainers. I actually will stay with you until the dog dies. And what I mean by that is I train your dog for a month, and once the dog has the skills and the reputation is, building up, and the dog is learning the pretty much the plan that we set, you call me if something happens. Like, let's say the dog isn't doing what you need to do now. Okay, give me a call. I'll come by. I'll check on the dog. I'll check on you. I'll make sure we get something else put together, and we will reframe what we just taught this dog so that we can have, life simpler for you, more simple for you. Because let's face it, when the dog listens, you're more happy, right? When the dog is not listening, you get frustrated. So it's just good to have somebody that has your back. That's why I really don't, really recommend Petco training or anything like that. Like I say, people should get a personal trainer. Like same with like working out, even if you don't know how to work out, get someone who knows how. Right. So they can show you properly, so that you don't go into it blind and then you mess something up that doesn't need to be messed up. Because you can really mess a dog's brain up with fear.
Oh, really?
Same like a person.
Right.
So
that's interesting. Okay, so you serve people in the Bay Area or
Bay Area, outside the Bay Area, Sacramento, Walnut Creek, anywhere really that someone's serious and they're serious about doing the training, and we can get started.
So how often do you go to someone's home?
So
a new dog and
when I train someone, I like to do a month course depending on the dog. It's not the same for every dog. Dogs are different, so every dog learns different. So like, let's say you have a dog that has, behavioral issues, that might take a month and a half, or that might, if we stay on it every day, because I really don't like training people's dogs every day. So if I come to you, I would like to do 3 days out the week, and that would be every other day. So we would train in between so that you can have time to train your dog yourself. I can't be the one training the dog all the time, because if I'm the one training the dog all the time, the dog's gonna want to listen to me. And that's just a waste of your time and your money. So,
Okay. So let's say we have someone who watching this right now, and they like what they've heard so far, and they want to get a dog. Okay, what is the easiest to train dog?
The easiest way to train dogs, and everybody's
I'm talking about the dog type.
Oh, the dog. Oh, well, they're really. I wouldn't really say like every dog is easy. Like if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. But if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. If you have a good patience, a level of patience, the training is not gonna be as vigorous for you as it is for others.
Right.
And what I mean by that is you have to give the dog time to learn, and you have to give the dog time to grow. I personally, I don't train a dog until it's 6 months, because I like to let it grow into itself, so it builds confidence.
Right.
So
you got German Shepherd, you got the Japanese type of dogs, you got the little ones, and the big, So which kind of dog do you think is easier to train?
I mean, to be honest, these American Bullies, because they're lazy. You don't really have to do much. Same with a bulldog. Like everybody does those AKC champion shows, and I'm like, that's cool, but it's like, to be honest, the Frenchies, don't get me wrong, the Frenchies, they can be really good dogs. They can really, work. But there are some American Bullies out there that can work too, because they have to understand they're different classes.
Right.
Same thing with the German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois. All these dogs have different classes. They have a show class and they have a working class. They have the working class. What I mean is the dog that's going to do protection or obedience, or a dog that's going to do hurdles, a dog that's going to pull, weight, you know, it's all type of different type of working breeds, hunting, you know, so it's like, it's really about what you're after. So if you want a dog with high drive, you're gonna pick a German Shepherd, obviously, or a Belgian Malinois. You want a dog with, you can get a Frenchie with some really high drive, so I can't even say that. You just need to learn how to read dogs, because if you don't read the dog correctly, you can get a dog that is out of your control and basically out of your expertise, and pretty much too much you can handle. So it's just best to read up about breeds. So like, I really can't say like what breed is the easiest breed, because like I said, if you can get a Chihuahua. Chihuahuas are cool dogs. They're not hard to train, I don't think. But if you don't know what you're doing, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get mad and want to beat it. That's not the way to train a dog.
Right.
So, you know, it's just best to.
About animal cruelty.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly learned a lot from you today, and I'm sure there's a lot more that you have. So you have like a website and stuff like that.
I have an Instagram, walnut_kennel.
Wow. Okay.
You can follow me there. I don't have a website right now, but I'll end up making one soon.
Do you see yourself doing this for?
Long. I mean, I've been doing it for 6 years so far. I'm 25, so I mean, yeah. I mean, I see why now.
You're 25?
Yeah, I'm thinking about.
Somebody told me you were 35.
No, I'm thinking about opening a dog hotel. So that's pretty much like my next move. Just trying to, you know, I got to open up another business account, and I got to get things set up properly so I can, you know, get everything to flow right with that. But that's what I'm, you know, thinking about next.
So you're a dog breeder, right? Mm-hmm. So who is your ideal client? Is it the animal doctors? Or?
Nah, so my clients would be like other breeders or like, you know, regular civilians. So like but it's like usually breeders.
Yes.
That wanna buy and that
what
wanna
you have.
Yeah, because they wanna breed. There's like like most of your clientele, when you breed dogs, is going to breed breeders. Mm-hmm. So like when you breed dogs, that's who you kind of want to attract more than anything, because you're not. I'm gonna just ask you a personal question right now.
Yes.
You give me 40,000 for both these dogs right now. You.
Would I?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Right.
Because you know why? You're not into this.
Yes, exactly.
So
yes.
It's something.
And I don't know the value.
People have to
Yes.
That people have to understand.
Yes.
So when people get, you know, into this game, and you know, who do you attract? You try to attract other breeders, and that's something that I had to, you know, learn, because most people try to sell the regular, you know, clientele,
right.
like civilians.
Yes.
I would say regular civilians.
Right.
I'm not saying like breeders are like out of, you know, into another bracket, but you know they are, because let's face it, like some of these dogs sell for 50,000, some of these dogs sell for 250,000.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. They say the dog is a man's best friend.
Right.
Right. And you told me earlier that you can train a dog to do whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but the only thing they can do for you is cook for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you training dogs to get to that level? I mean, because you're breeding dogs. So I
don't know if I'll be able to train a dog to cook, but I mean, if I can, you know, I'll try it. But I've seen a dog hit a backflip before. Yeah. It's a dog, you know, it's the smartest dog right now. Mm-hmm. Really, I would say, and if you really want a good dog to train, and it's gonna do good work for you, I recommend a Belgian Malinois. That's the #1 dog I recommend. The Belgian Malinois is the best dog I've ever trained, and I don't think it's a lot of other dogs out there that are pretty good, but I'm just gonna be real. The Belgian Malinois is a very.
I've seen some cases where dogs are
dogs.
helping someone who, like, someone collapsed, had a heart attack or something like that. Can you train a dog to dial 911?
Nah.
You cannot.
But you can train a dog to go get help.
Okay, the dog will open the door for you and they'll go get help.
No, the dog. Let's say the dog can. Let's say you fall. The dog is a doggy door or something, and knows your next door neighbor. It goes to the door and it makes the person follow them to the house to see what the issue is.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah,
you know, if anybody's really paying attention to that, you know, a lot of people nowadays don't really pay attention. But if you're paying attention, you know, make sure you pay attention to those signs that you see with dogs.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today, Mr. Kenny.
Thank you.
Well, it was really good. I learned a lot. Thank you.
You can contact me at 510-472-5548. on Instagram, like walnut_kennel. And those are the two ways you can find me, or you can catch me at the lake training my dog, Edward, on the grass. You guys have a good day today.
Thanks for watching. If you know of any small business owners who would like to take advantage of our lively interviews, please ask them to contact us at service@allaboutthebay.org. And remember to subscribe to our channel as we post new interviews there weekly.